Working Chute with you.
Hey, guess what? It's been a minute, but here we are back again, shooting the breeze. Dr. J. Hammonds is in the house. How are you today?
I am doing absolutely terrific. It has been a minute, so I'm looking forward to just shooting the breeze.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons we're doing this, obviously, we have some cool news, and that'll be the primary focus of what we talk about today. You will
Absolutely.
see right here the Metamorphoo Method. And Jay, you're a scholar and a gentleman. Uh, did you actually study much Greek when you did your degree in theology and whatnot?
That's interesting. Did not actually study much Greek. That's a whole nother side of what whole nother I guess study. We didn't get much into the languages, some Hebrew. We got a little bit of Hebrew and not so much of the Greek, which would be odd because most of the New Testament actually was written in Greek and not so much Hebrew, if any at all. So it's kind of
Yeah.
odd, but fun
There
fact.
you go. To each their own when studying old languages, but that's where this came from. You may have heard of metamorphosis, and that's where we get the little butterfly logo icon. I don't want to say it's a
Yeah.
logo. The Metamorphoo method is, it's kind of been in process actually, Jay. The fun part is before there was ever a sheep feast, there was a metamorpho.
Yes. And I know people probably want to know a little bit more about how that came into being.
Yeah, so back in the day, so we're talking 2018, like it is, 8 years since our original idea of what eventually became Sheep Feast cropped into my mind. I just believe the Lord kind of put this idea, and it was, hey, how can we help people transform their books into an online resource? And so metamorphosis, metamorpho, the Greek word for transformation. And so that's where that kind of was started out. And yeah, those early years of just thinking about it, talking to people, and hey, I actually had a website called, I don't know if I might have mentioned this, Jay, but I had a
Yeah,
website domain, metamorphoo.life. So it was like transform your books, transform your life. That's kind of where we started with everything.
that's amazing. And yeah, I remember hearing about it, and only the Lord knew that we would come full circle because
Yeah.
I mean, when you're telling me about it at the time, I was thinking, oh, that's pretty cool. And that's all I pretty much thought about it. Just didn't know what God had in store for us, but obviously He did. So
Yeah. So yeah, it has been 8 years in the making. We are excited to see where God is taking us. Like you said, full circle. That's the thing I keep saying. Like as I've been, kind of seeing this journey take place. Like first of all, beginning of this year, we really felt like the Lord was leading us into a very specific audience as our primary focus. And so those are people that have a message, right? So it's
absolutely.
if you're looking at the background, you're seeing it says clarify your message, amplify your reach, multiply your impact. Those are some uh, phrases to associate with what we're doing here. Yeah, if you got a message, so that could be a lot of people, right, Jay? I mean, some people, I think everyone technically has a message if you're a
Yeah,
believer.
I would think so.
And but for some people, it may be something they want to have structure and they're building a business around, or they have a coaching, practice, like they're helping people in some area. Maybe they're a speaker, or like I said, from the beginning, author, right? Someone that's writing a book or has already written a book. The Metamorphoo method is a way to help them with that. And we'll get into a little bit more of that here shortly. What is this method that we speak of? And yeah, so
Yeah, and I think too, Mark, it's we all have something inside of us, right? Giftings that God has provided, and a lot of times there is a message that comes along with that, and it's like, how do I get this message out? How do I tell people about it? It's almost like the running joke with the aspiring writer, right? Who never really writes anything at all, right? They keep telling people, hey, I got these ideas. And I think for a lot of us, me included, when we're so passionate about something and we're thinking, okay, what do I do with this? A lot of times it first starts with clarifying what your message is to begin with. We have all this passion, but we need a process.
Yeah, 100%. And this is from our own experience. Literally, we've gone
Yeah.
through this process, but no one had a metamorpho method to give us.
No,
Maybe God was giving us a hint, back in the day, and we're like, hey, check this out. But trial and error, right? That's one of the best ways to learn is from other people's mistakes instead of repeating them yourself, right?
absolutely.
And maybe we're not making a ton of mistakes, or maybe we are. We're not trying to say we got everything worked out perfectly, but we've seen the transformation throughout our journey. Like Jay, you've been walking alongside me in the sheep feast world for the last couple years. It's been over
Yeah,
2 years now that you've been helping out in some form
that's
or fashion.
wild.
So yeah, that's been awesome. But yeah, there has been a lot of transformations. I mean, what are some of the things that you remember that we worked on just while you've been with us?
Oh gosh. Well, first of all, I think we read through everything as far as Sheep Feast was concerned, and we were thinking about how could we possibly reach churches, ministers, people who had a message that want to get out. How do we maybe take that content, reshape it, reframe it? Even me offering my own services as well. I've taken a couple of different businesses from bankruptcy to profitability. What does that process look like? Just the gambit of things to try to figure out how do we best serve the community, right? How do we best serve the public in a way that makes sense?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, started out, that was when in 2022. That's what we got on to what we still fully believe this discipleship vision.
Yeah,
And it's no change as far as that goes. Like, what's the ultimate vision? That's one of the things that we came across in this transformation is the idea of seeing 1 million discipled. And so that's no
absolutely.
different. And these messages that God give us, those are part of this, you know, discipleship transformation, because that's what becoming a disciple is. You're being transformed into the image of Jesus and we're all in process with that. So that's exciting. And yeah, we've had just different focuses. And sometimes we talked about disciple your business. We had a
Yep,
message that kind of centered around that and hey, Christian businesses. Not that those things go away per se. It's just that this is the essential piece of the message here, clarifying. And
absolutely.
it really comes out of a scripture that many have heard and you may have studied when you were in your Bible school days. Habakkuk 2:2. Do you know that by heart, Dr. J?
Now I do not know it by heart, but I can give you a short rendition. It's about writing the vision, making it plain.
Yes, yes. I didn't probably, I knew it's kind of the same thing. But now that we've been working on this, now I can like, you know, bubble it up pretty quickly. Write the vision, make it plain on tablets so those that read can run with it. That's the essentially you'll
Yep,
find different, you know, different versions of the Bible will say it differently, but
right.
that's the heart of
That's the
that
heart of it.
message. And that's the heart of the Metamorphoo method. There's this hidden in that, quote unquote, hidden, is the 5-step method that we're helping people with. So, like you said, we talked about clarification, write the vision down. That's essentially step one.
Yep.
And then what I keep thinking about it in this way, Jay. We've all heard the term a picture is worth 1,000 words, right?
Hmm.
And so when you have a vision or a big idea, that's what a lot of times what it is. It's like, oh, this big picture, lots of words, but how do I get from that to actually helping people and seeing people grow, right?
Absolutely. And when you said that, something just hit me. I've heard that saying probably easily over 1,000 times. So a picture is worth 1,000 words, but no one ever asks what are those words, right? What are those
Mm,
words that actually paints the picture? That's very important. Because a lot of times we can see it in our head, we can visualize it, right? Like, oh, this is what I want to do or this is where I want to go, but actually putting that into tangible words that is clear and concise to explain that to someone else, that can be difficult.
Yeah, and this is the process. So the Bible gives us so much truth that we can implement in our life, even though it was written thousands of years ago. Like that prophetic utterance may have been contextually for the people of Israel, but that doesn't mean God can't bring it back to our consciousness and our thought patterns and be like, "Hey, I want you to look at this and understand how this can help you." And we've all probably, if you've been in the church for a minute or two, probably heard a message around this, especially at the beginning of the year, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
so this is the five-step process. I already said, write the vision, make it plain. So a lot of times you can have the vision, but it's not really plain so that other people, because that's the step as you see, right? On
Right.
tablets. So that means it's become concrete.
Yep.
It's something that people can pick up now and run with it. So that's the third stage would be tablets. The fourth stage would be so people are able to read it. And the final stage is you can run with it. So
Hmm.
what that looks like, and what we'll do actually, Jay, is pull up the old website because we
I
have
think that's a great idea.
metamorphoomethod.com. Check it out, even as you see this now. And we'll do a little screen share here too, because it has, we'll scroll down to the part that I'm talking about right now, and then we'll share. So that's what we're going to do right this minute. And whoop, and share. So this is what we're pointing people towards as we're getting this message out, our message that we've metamorphosed. We've got our foo on, Dr. J. You might
Oh
see
yeah,
some of
get your
that.
foo on.
Get your foo on because we want to see transformation. So essentially what we're offering in the moment is a free resource, right? You can go to this website and download it. But here are the 5 steps said in another way, right? We got capture the vision. That's the write the vision, make it plain, is clarify the message, create the assets. So this is the tablet. You have something quote unquote concrete. So this could be, oh, it's the book. I got a book.
Yep.
Or it's a download, just like, hey, we got our download. And or maybe there's all lots of different quote unquote assets. You could think of them as marketing assets or, just things that help people understand and, run with the message essentially. Build the pathway. So this is for us kind of where there's a couple different things that we can help people with along this journey. It's not necessarily we're doing all these things like SheepFeast does this for you, but this resource helps you understand where you're at on the path, on your vision, your message planning and implementation. But build a pathway is where the farm work really can come in and help people, right? So it's
Absolutely.
like this is how the message is getting out in different ways. And so the farm work has a lot of cool things that go on inside of that. And this will help build that pathway so that we can multiply the impact. That's people running with it. So you've gotten to the point where your messaging is in such a place that now there's different things that you can do to really reach a greater volume of folks. So that might be running advertising or doing different strategies that are you're just hitting more people. But the thing is, you don't want to start five if you haven't done two or three, right? Or those kind of things. So
Absolutely.
that's the importance of following the biblical pattern of Habakkuk 2:2 and how we see that working inside the Metamorphoo method.
Yeah, and it goes back to what I was talking about earlier when I mentioned a process, right? And with this process, through the Metamorphoo method, it shows you how to strategically build momentum, because that momentum as it builds translates to impact, right? So that's why I'm so excited about it, and to be able to build systems through something like the farm work, where you have automations, where you have different tools at your disposal to provide those assets or those resources to those individuals. And you have a feedback loop so you can see how well you're doing in certain areas. Like, I only had 2 downloads. Why isn't anyone downloading it? Like, those type of things, to have a process that walks you through that and gives or provides or helps you to give or provide deliverables that's actually going to create the impact that you're looking for, I think is I think is awesome. I think it's paramount. And we've been through this process as well, Mark, as you've talked about all those different things that we've done. We've never gone completely away from disciple your business or anything like that, but it's a refinement. And so since we've had to go through it ourselves, who best to help individuals to go through their own metamorpho method?
Yeah, that was like our light bulb moment, right? As we've kind of gotten to this point where it's like, oh yeah, this is kind of the culmination of what we're doing. It's like that's not just Sheep Feast, Mark and Jay struggling with that. Most people are going to have, struggle may be strong for some, but yeah, it's just part of it, right? You
Yep.
don't have everything. The idea comes in the Bible. It says, the he gives light for your path. It's I think it's in Proverbs, right? Where he talks
Yep.
about this particular scripture, but it's not like he's got this flood lamp out there where you can see everything out at once. And so this kind of gives some structure to that process. And it's not to say that this is a shortcut, it's just clarification, right? And it's understanding
Mhm.
on really biblical principle of walking through those different things. And yeah, like you said, it's a simple 5-step method, free to download. So you can get
I love
started
free.
on this without, and the cool thing, so there's other things to do within the Metamorphoo method, but um, one of the things that we do that's still free is as you go through that, you'll get the free download, which is like, I think it's like 15, 16, it's 16 pages. I remember that because if we want, we might print one just for fun because everything's online nowadays. But in order to print it, it has to be an even number of pages. So it's 16 pages. But in there, there's an assessment. So it's a pretty quick assessment, right, Jay, where
Yeah,
people can go answer like 3 questions for each step. And that really helps them understand where they are at and finding out how their message is being, what stage they're in, right?
absolutely. And another thing that I wanted to mention as well, um, I mean, I just, as Christians, I just believe we should do everything the way that the Lord wants us to do them. So I know I've had taken part in other programs or got a free download, and it's like they only give you just enough to try to hook you. Well, we're not doing that here. I mean, you can go through this assessment, you can take the information and you can go and implement it on your own, or you can walk alongside of us. We can walk alongside of you and really help you to get that impact, to amplify your reach, multiply your impact. It's up to you. We're just making this resource available. But I will say this, this is the other plug that I thought about earlier when I was listening to you speak, Mark. We've actually seen the benefit of this in SheepFeast as we continue to go through this process of clarifying and refining. We've actually seen more individuals come into our network, our platform, to be able to use the farm work, and that's cool and that's encouraging because when you're going through this process that you're going through, a lot of times you don't know what's going to work, when it's going to work, how it's going to work. But when it starts working, that's like, whew.
Yeah, battle tested. The theory is it's beyond theory for us at this point. And there's a few things I wanted to bring to attention why it matters. First of all, clarity helps people take action. So just like you're saying, Jay, the clearer that we have gotten, the easier it is for other people to take action. Because if they're unsure of like what you're doing, like we said in the past, right? When you say disciple your business, cool, what's that? So it's kind of a fun slogan and it's a part of who we are, but
Yep.
it doesn't really drive people forward into, what they need. So as we've clarified our message, there's become greater action taking place. And then better communication will lead to greater impact. I think that's pretty straightforward, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
God's the master of communication. He created it. And, the Bible is our everyday source for communication. And just look at how much impact communicating the word of God has done throughout, you know, the world.
To the
And
world, yeah.
yeah, it's something else. And then finally, we're really talking about this from a stewardship more so than marketing. Of
Absolutely.
course, marketing is important in its own thing, but we've all been given something and in our hands, like we said, the message that God's given us for our lives, for our businesses, for what we've been called to do. And it's about being faithful in that and stewarding it well.
Mic drop.
Yeah. So what's next, Jay? What do people need to do? There is a couple other things I want to bring people's attention, but um, obviously go to the website,
They need
Metamorphoo
to go,
Method.
yeah, they need to go to the website, read all the information, pray, and make a decision. Even if it's just, we would love to talk to each and every one of you. Don't make it this situation where it's like high pressure or anything like that. But hey, just hop on a call, send us an email, contact us. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, 100%. And there's two other things I want to bring attention as a part of the method. The still in the free section, 100% is when you download it, you'll see there's a place to schedule a 2000 cubit rule session. So if you've been around SheepFeast for any time, you would have heard the term 2000 cubit rule. It's the name of our podcast. It's a core value. It's about making room for God to move. And so that's what this session, a free session to once you've had the opportunity to go through the assessment and get your scores, then we'll pray with you and seek the Lord about what that means for your particular message and what God's put in your hands. So it's something we want to make available to people as well. So you get the download, you do the assessment, you book the 2KCR session, which is all free, and see where you're at. And then finally, just want to let people know if they need additional help, Dr. J, we do have what we call the Make It Plain Intensive.
Oh yeah,
Pretty
and it
cool.
is intense.
Yeah, and so you'll see as for those that download, they'll probably get a chance to see more information about that. But just a little bit of a tease as far as what that is, and it is intense, right? Because it's a three sessions of our time with you personally. It's not a course. We are actually working with you
Yep.
on the especially the first two steps. So if you're kind of like in the a picture is worth 1,000 words place, or you're like, I know what I'm doing, but I don't know if other people know, then that's where the Make It Plain intensive really comes to into the picture, pun intended. And you want to make yourself available to that. So the cool thing about that is, for those that are like, yeah, that's me, the first five people that sign up for that, which is a paid service, it'll be $497 as opposed to the typical $997. Like I said, you're going to get three full sessions with us. You'll have multiple worksheets. We're going to get you out of the gate with a message map. And so there's a lot of cool stuff within that intensive, right, Jay?
Absolutely. And I will also add some more caveats when you talk about free. Again, been a part of a lot of programs and things like that where they're trying to hook you. Here, uh, this free session, we're pouring out everything that we have. We're not holding anything back. The only difference is when you get that intensive, we're going to really break down everything about your business. We just don't have time to do that in a
30
in the
minutes.
yeah 30 minutes or what have you. um and so for me, I'm a get it done type of person. So, and I'm a get it done on my own type person, which means that I'm not going to wait for anybody else. So if that's you, some of you are going to be like, hey, I believe I can do all this on my own. I'm going to do the free session and then go launch it. That may work for some of you guys. Other ones is you're going to do the free session and you're going to be like, man, this is more than what I really thought or could imagine. Or, hey, I think I could probably do this on my own, but I don't want to. So I would really like to take part in your intensive to really get hardcore principles that I can use and get started with right away. because I don't have time to waste. Some people out there, they've already written a book or they're still writing it or other things. And it's like, wouldn't it be awesome to have somebody like me and you come alongside of them and help them through this process to maybe, who knows, by the end of the intensive, you could have everything that you need to actually do your book launch, and we could even walk alongside of you to help you to be able to do that as well. We're just here to help, whatever it is that you need. If we can't do it ourselves, we could possibly point you in the right direction for sure.
Yes, sir. And just wanted to bring up the site one more time, the Metamorphoo Method. It's just metamorphoomethod.com. Know the on the website. But yeah, go there. You get that free guide. Like I said, it's got the 5 steps. It explains more detail. And like it says, your message may be more valuable than you realize. So check that
Mm,
out. And then, here's some data that kind of points out like the importance of why you should go through something like the Metamorphoo method. And but yeah, there you go. There's a little bit more of the site you can go in. It is built for the called. So if you are a coach, author, speaker, course creator, ministry leader, a kingdom entrepreneur, or anyone that is carrying a message that God has given them to multiply to others, check out metamorphoomethod.com right now. And yeah, we'd be excited to interact with some of you in the coming days and weeks, months, and etc. Dr. J, it's been fun to shoot the breeze about the Metamorphoo method.
absolutely.
A little bit different than some of the other method, or not method, we're not uh, shooting the breeze sessions, I should say. They were a little bit more all over the place.
Absolutely. But you know, there's a lot going on in SheepFeast and at SheepFeast. So when we have an opportunity like this, I think there's a lot of weight to this. I think it's very important and very impactful. So we wanted to do it justice by uh, having one central focus today.
100%. And yeah, just remember metamorpho, get your foo on. It means to be transformed. And just like it says in Romans 12:2, transform your mind, right? This is
Yes,
all tied together, right? Like Jesus brought us transformation, and we're here to partner with him and with you to see your message transformed into something that impacts people beyond what you maybe even ever hoped or dreamed it could. So there you go. The Metamorphoo Method.
I love it.
All right, everybody. We will see you next time. Hopefully, not too distant future. We'll have another Through the Working Chute, but we'll catch you online.
See ya.